everybody, Demi here, and yes, we're finally talking about Kingdom Megatron. We talked about the rest of the beasts back in my Beast Bonanza, but unfortunately I didn't have a Megatron at that time. So now we get to talk about the big purple T-Rex that doesn't make you want to claw your eyes out in terror. So, Megs here is the main villain leader of the Beast Wars and Beast Machines era, which for many fans was their first introduction to Megatron in general. And, of course, for the whole fandom, the first introduction to David K. as Megatron. Which, David K., lovely guy. I love hearing his voice come out of a Megatron. It's just, the Megatron that I'm used to hearing him as is Cybertron Megatron. Not exactly Beast Wars Megatron. Nothing wrong with the purple yes man here, but I'm used to the other one. But let's see if this figure can change my mind about that. So, starting with the robot mode. The painting and sculpting on this guy is amazing. While not quite going for the same animation model coming off the screen look as MP43 did, it manages to capture the essence of Megatron beautifully. This Predacon leader looks amazing. Though, there's a couple things here that are just a little bit off for me. The kibble wings, they're great, they're just a little big. Honestly, the things that they let the Beast Mode do compared to the Masterpiece version, I'm willing to let that slide, because this is worth it for the T-Rex mode. What's a little less worth it is probably these kibble wings here on the left arm. I should say kibble struts, maybe, to differentiate from the kibble wings, but these kibble struts. There is this soft plastic bridge piece, if you will, between the two pieces. And it doesn't exactly have perfect clearance, but it's... If you're not careful with it, you can get stress fractures. And I already saw the beginnings of a stress mark on my kibble strut here. So just make sure you're being careful with that when you're handling him. But let's talk about some good stuff to balance out the bad, right? So, Megs here has this lovely little blast effect hole inside his dino mouth, so you can replicate that firing a laser out of the dino head like you did in the cartoon, which is so weird to think about, shooting a laser out of a dinosaur's mouth. Hey, it was the 90s. Then there's also plenty of awesome detail, kind of that Beast Wars, like, it's mechanical, but it's also organic, meshed together. Not Beast Machines level of that, but Beast Wars had its own share of that. I also really like his little claw, and I like how it's kind of an extension on his arm instead of just being his hand. Though, what does confuse me a little bit, there's this little, like, extra joint inside his left arm on his wrist. It doesn't serve any purpose in any mode. It's just a wrist bend. Like, not a rotation, it's a bend. Like, it only goes up, but it's like a wrist bend inside there. I don't get why it's there. Anyways, let's talk about the actual full posability of this guy instead of just focusing on his wrist. So, Megs here has a ball joint at his head, though it does kind of like to stay straight instead of going up or down. Like, you can get it to go up and down, it just won't stay there, it'll go back. Then, the shoulders are on a nice rotation, with a little bit of butterfly on the right arm. We'll see why in Beast Mode. The arms do both move out, with a swivel at each bicep. The right arm has a minor elbow bend that I kind of wish was a little bit more, but the left arm has a nice 90-degree bend that works pretty fine. The claw can open and close, with a rotation and joint on the larger side of it that's more for Beast Mode again. We'll get there. And there is again, that wrist bend that just feels unnecessary. The nice waist swivel that puts MP43 to shame with how solid it is. It's a wonderful job. He's got a nice front kick, a lovely back kick, and a pretty okay split. Though moving the kibble allows for, again, the split that makes me jealous and makes me wish I was stretching at the time. I'll need to soon. There's no thigh swivel, though there is a swivel at the knee to accommodate for that. He's got a nice 90-degree bend at the knee, and he's also got some lovely bends and pivots at his ankles. All in all, he's no masterpiece, but you can get some pretty good poses with him, especially with some of the other beasts of the line. He's coming straight from the Beast Bonanza. Here he is with his subordinate, Black Arachnia. Here he is with Optimus Primal. And because I think it's kind of a funny shot to take, here he is next to Earthrise Scorponok. We know we're getting a Beast Wars Scorponok in Kingdom, but hasn't been revealed yet, so we'll shoot him with the Big Bot instead. Now then, I think we've talked long enough on this Big Bot. Let's get to the transformation, shall we? And here we have the wonderful purple T-Rex in his beast mode. Every bit of kibble that seemed to hinder the robot mode just goes on full display to show a wonderful T-Rex. It's not a show-accurate model by any means. Honestly, it feels more like they took a National Geographic T-Rex diagram and made that into the beast mode instead. But it wasn't this figure's goal to be show-accurate by any means. He's just a mean purple and green monkey stomping machine. The stripe of green along the back and the yellow underside really help to break up this otherwise monotonous color scheme. And the white toe claws are great. I just kind of wish they painted the little tiny T-Rex hands with some white claws too, because I think those would have helped him pop out a little more. The knees can also be a little awkward in some poses, just with how the sculpt is shaped. But honestly, it's a big purple T-Rex. What are you going to say? It's a big purple T-Rex! And of course, it's still, like, compared to Masterpiece, it's got some posability there. There is a little bit of a limit in terms to how some of the sculpt works for poses with this guy. Particularly if his head goes up too far, there's a giant gaping hole in his throat. And if you go way too far, you just completely break the sculpt and show the robot arm. Side to side kind of breaks the little back neck guard piece. The tail actually works pretty well in poses. It doesn't break the sculpt too terribly much. And the legs, I mean, other than the knee, they work wonderfully. The soft plastics throughout the figure help to mostly cover everything, though there's a couple pieces that tend to not like to line up on me, so there can be a couple gaps and such through the figure. It's nothing too bad, it's just a couple gaps form here and there. Then, let's talk about the one thing that this actually has a couple things, in my opinion, that make it better than the Masterpiece, but the bottom! Look at that! There's no fake robo-dong, it's just a nice, solid bottom. Sure, it's a little empty in there, but it's covered. It's an actual bottom. And also, the kibble wings coming in full clutch to cover up the actual robot thighs and keep it movable. He has working dino thighs. This is amazing. This is not something I expect to see. Though, they don't go out. But, I mean, who's expecting a T-Rex to do the splits? Certainly not me. Aside from the legs being, again, that same posability before that we talked about, there's just a couple other things. There's that hinge at the base of the neck, aside from just where the bicep is. And that was where that butterfly came in from robot mode. And then again, he's got two ball joints. Not ball joints, he's got two hinges in his tail. Though there is a rotation at the end, and you can technically get a little rotation from the bicep inside. I mean, I wouldn't, but you can. Sure, why not? Then, again, since he is in his own class, let's go and compare him with some of the other Kingdom guys again. Here he is with the little spider. Here he is with the big boss bot, who's a monkey and smaller, so not big, not a boss, and not a bot in this mode. And of course, with the giant Titan Scorponok to keep him humble. So, closing thoughts on this guy. As the leader of the Beast Wars Predacons, he's a pretty okay figure. I can see why a lot of people would really like to have this guy in their collection, considering that he is, again, like a major part of many, many fans' first exposure to the series. The thing is, I don't have a connection to Beast Wars too terribly much. Sure, the big purple dinosaur here is very nice, and I will never call him Barney, but he's just not my Megs. Not my Megatron. Personally, I give Beast Megs here a nice solid 7. He's a decent figure. I'm just not personally attached to it in the way I'm connected to other ones. And he has just some faults here and there that really just grind my gears a tiny bit. I mean, it's nothing to just skip the figure over. If anything, I'd say he is a must-pick of the Kingdom line. Definitely more than the Optimus Prime reissue that's in his pack as well. And of course, if you got Primal, you want somebody for Primal to fight. There's just a few things holding it back overall. If you do see one in stores, though, grab it. The big purple T-Rex man is a lovely figure and a wonderful collection, a wonderful piece of the Beast Wars collection that I hope to increase someday. Alright, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Beast Megatron, I've had him for a couple weeks now. I've just kind of been stalling on actually recording anything. Mainly because I've kind of increased my streaming a little bit. I managed to join a Minecraft SMP, so that was kind of fun. I'm still a part of it. We haven't really gotten started, but I've been doing some building and some exploring. Which, if you do want to see some more of that, or any other streams that I do end up doing, go ahead and give me a follow over on Twitch. I'd love to see you there, and I'd love to get to affiliate there and stream some more. Then there's going to be a lot more content on here soon. I may start doing some more of the semi-unscripted reviews instead of just doing my scripted ones. Like Megatron here, lovely, but it took me a good couple days to actually build up a full script for him. So we may see some more unscripted ones. I might put them under a subline of the reviews, but stick around for them. I hope you watch. And of course, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.